at Kinder Buenos or something like that, and I think I'm eating them, but I'm really not. I'm just eating 2-week-old Cheetos Puffs from my teacher.
I'm not such a big fan of Kinder Bueno. I mean, they're not bad by any means. It's just they're certainly not my favorite. The chocolate's just a bit too sweet.
Fair. Everyone has different taste buds, so I'm not gonna be like, you cursed being, how dare you like.
But then again, Special Dark is my favorite, Hershey Special Dark, so right. I like my chocolate a bit more bitter.
You share that love of dark chocolate. Anyway, yeah, I like a lot of candy, so that's just me. But
well, that must be why you're so sweet, Krysta.
Aww. Oh yeah, sorry for making you guys cry at the beginning. Because I know some of you are crying, or at least one of you. You're just like, I can't breathe! Start the podcast, you old man.
Was that your last fact?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was fact number 5.
I thought, I didn't realize we had gotten to the last fact.
Well, you threw a flip-flop at Mom and stuck out your tongue, so.
Well, yeah, because I was trying to be playful.
And Mom is not having it.
Apparently not. All right, so, as I began to say, my facts come from a lot of Kansas City Star articles written the year of 81 on into 82, some of these, because the Star did a very deep, in-depth investigation into this, as did other papers at the time. Also, some of it, of course, comes from Wikipedia, but that's all been verified either through the Star itself or through other sites. So I just want to make sure that people know that, you know, I've done my due diligence on research. I have also talked to people I know who were there, many of whom could not say anything to me, even off the record, because of NDC's NDAs they had signed. So, non-disclosure agreements. So that's where it all comes from. So let's talk about building the Hyatt. Because before we can get into the collapse, we need to understand a little bit about the culture that built it. And the Kansas City Star described the national climate of the 1970s as high unemployment, inflation, and double-digit interest rates, which added pressure on builders to win contracts and complete projects swiftly. So that was the reality for construction of that time. Now, the Hyatt Regency itself was described by the Star as fast-tracked. So that means as swiftly as things got built then, this was being pushed even faster. Construction began in May 1978 on the 40-story Hyatt Regency, Kansas City, which is located basically between Westport and the Plaza. It's like right on the border between the two.
It is a giant, impressive structure in Kansas City skyline.
It is.
Even to this
day. It is, to this day. There were numerous delays and setbacks, including the collapse of 2,700 square feet of the roof. The newspaper observed that notable structures around the country were failing at an alarming rate. Now, this included, and I had forgotten about this, the 1979 Kemper Arena roof collapse, and I'd forgotten that happened. And I was a security guard at Kemper for a while. I mean, mind you, not in 1979, but...
I should hope not, since you were only, what?
11?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then 1978 Hartford Civic Center roof collapse. So, there was a lot of things going on, and it was because of the way we were essentially raising things faster than we should have. Now, the hotel officially opened on July 1st, 1980. And the hotel's lobby was its defining feature, with a multi-story atrium spanned by elevated walkways suspended from the ceiling. These steel, glass, and concrete crossings connected the second, third, and fourth floors between the north and south wings of the hotel. The walkways were approximately 120 feet long and weighed approximately 64,000 pounds. The fourth level walkway was directly above the second level walkway. So that's what you're looking at here. Okay, that's the culture that led into the building of the hotel, and that's the way the atrium was designed. Now, we're going to take a moment for a word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about what happened. Hun, how do you feel?
I feel sponsored.
Way to go, babe. Yay.
Sponsored, but she's talking way less than I am.
Yay.
I'm sorry, have I taken your spots? Can you talk a little bit?
I'm gonna talk. I'm talking.
Talk to me, talk.
So, we covered building the Hyatt. Let's talk about what happened.
It was a tea dance.
It was a tea dance. Approximately 1,600 people had gathered in the atrium for a tea dance. Now, Krysta, do you know what a tea dance is?
No, it sounds like tea posing, but dance.
Okay, I don't know what tea posing
Like a
is.
tea party, but with dancing.
Just like this.
A tea dance is held in the summer or autumn in the afternoon and early evening, basically, whereas as your typical dance is held later. This was usually it's like from 4 to 7. Now this one ran a little later because the disaster happened at 7:05, basically. On the evening of July 17th, 1981, the second level walkway held about 40 people altogether, with more on the third and an additional 16 to 20 on the fourth floor balcony. So a good solid number of people on the fourth and second floor balconies. Now at 7:05, guests heard popping noises and a loud crack moments before the fourth floor walkway dropped several inches.
That's not good.
No. It paused, but before people could register, oh, thank God it stopped, it started again, and it fell completely onto the second floor walkway.
Oh, no.
Both walkways then fell onto the crowded lobby floor. A diner at the 42nd floor revolving restaurant on top of the Hyatt said it felt like an explosion.
That's not good.
No, not good.
Now remember, just so you're paying attention. So, fourth floor came down onto second floor, came down onto lobby with 1,600 people in it. Smash, smash, smash. Okay? Just so you're getting a picture of what actually happened.
Oh. So where's the third floor?
The third floor was offset to the side.
So, the rescue operation lasted 14 hours, directed by Kansas City Emergency Medical Director Joseph Wackerly. Survivors were buried beneath the walkway's many tons of steel, concrete, and glass, which the fire department's jacks could not move because it was just too heavy. Volunteers responded to an appeal and brought jacks, flashlights, compressors, jackhammers, concrete saws, and generators from construction companies and suppliers. They also brought cranes and forced the booms through the lobby windows to lift debris. Deputy Fire Chief Arnett Williams recalled this immediate outpouring from the industrial community. They said, "Take what you want. I don't know if all those people got their equipment back, but no one has ever asked for an accounting and no one has ever submitted a bill." The dead were taken to a ground floor exhibition area as a makeshift morgue, and the hotel's driveway and lawn were used as a triage area. Able survivors were instructed to leave the hotel to simplify the rescue effort, and morphine was given to the mortally injured. Rescuers often had to dismember bodies to reach survivors among the wreckage. Blood centers quickly received lineups of hundreds of donors. The Lifeline helicopter pilot compared the carnage to the Vietnam War, but in greater numbers here. Water flooded the lobby from the hotel's ruptured sprinkler system and put trapped survivors at risk of drowning. The final rescued victim, Mark Williams, spent more than 9 hours pinned underneath the lower skywalk with both legs dislocated and having nearly drowned before the water was shut off. Visibility was poor because of dust and because the power had been cut to prevent fires. A total of 114 were killed and 216 injured, 29 of whom were rescued from the rubble. That is what happened. And I tried very hard not to go into
too much of the gory details.
Yeah.
Because we are G13.
Right. And so, yeah, and mind you, this is less than a year after, well, this is barely a year after the hotel opened. A year and maybe 2 weeks. For a catastrophic failure of this magnitude, that's fast. Like, usually that doesn't happen until someplace is much older. So there was an investigation. Now, the Star hired engineer Wayne G. Lishka to investigate the collapse, and he discovered a significant change to the original design of the walkways. Also within days, a laboratory at Lehigh University began testing box beams on behalf of the steel fabrication company that made them. The Missouri Licensing Board, the State Attorney General, and Jackson County investigated the collapse over the following years. Edward Frang, lead investigator for the National Bureau of Standards, characterized the neglectful corporate culture surrounding the entire Hyatt construction project as everyone wanting to walk away from their responsibility. The NBS final report cited structural overload resulting from design flaws where the walkways had only minimal capacity to resist their own weight. Fang concluded that they would have failed with 1/3 of the occupants' weight.
Even if there had been 1/3 of the people that were there, it could have happened. So,
and here's what caused the collapse. When the engineers originally designed the walkways, they had designed them all supported to the ceiling separately. So the 4th floor walkway was suspended and connected to the ceiling. The 2nd floor walkway was suspended and connected to the ceiling.
Right.
Okay, that's how they designed it. Now, but the thing is when those plans were changed, it never went back to the architects for them to sign off on it. They'd already signed off on it. So the construction company could make any changes they felt they needed. Right. And the big change they made was instead of attaching the 2nd floor walkway to the ceiling using separate cables and beams, they attached it to the 4th floor walkway, which effectively doubled the load that the 4th floor walkway was supposed to carry, or that those connectors were supposed to carry. And there was no way it could hold that way. Plus, instead of being hooked through with steel screws